Hey, Happy New Year! Welcome to the first episode of Icons in the Making in 2023. My name is Fran.
I'm Romy, and we're Adora. In this space, we usually sit down and talk to a wide range of people who we think have the drive and the passion to become the next big thing. However, because we've just started a new year, we thought it'd be fun to do something slightly different today.
Yes, today we're going to be doing a recap on our 2022, as well as going through what we're most excited for in 2023. So please sit back and enjoy this conversation. Okay, so welcome again to Icons in the Making in Gran Canaria, in the Canary Islands. This is our hometown. We are recording this from my dad's place.
From the balcony.
Yeah.
We actually recorded this episode before leaving London, but we weren't fully convinced, and we had to make the most of this view. So
Yes.
Here we are.
Well, it's not the nicest view here because we are right in the middle of the city centre, so that's why you might hear
some background
noise because we are right next to quite a busy road. But right in this side, that we couldn't record in this side because there's like a little kind of like a wall.
We have you wouldn't be able to see, but
yeah, we have the sea here and the whole city, which is beautiful. But we always have such a beautiful light here, and the sun is setting there. So, and we are recording with 3 cameras just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
It's been quite a logistical mess.
Hassle, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, let's get in with this episode. This episode is just gonna be the two of us.
Yes, we thought it'd be fun to do a little recap on our 2022. Also talk about what we are working on moving into 2023, and just honestly do a little recap and reflect on the past year.
Yes.
So here we are.
It's currently 2nd of January today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we mentioned we actually recorded this episode a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it was I think like a week before coming to Gran Canaria to visit our families.
But I feel we were so kind of like involved in projects like at that present time that we couldn't really do a recap. We didn't have the time to reflect. We just did it, and it didn't came.
True.
Yeah, the result didn't. It wasn't very nice. I don't know. The conversation, it was okay, but it wasn't.
Yeah, we weren't fully happy with it, and we felt like it didn't reflect our opinion on 2022 and how we're feeling about 2023. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think it was worth it to do it again. But I think we should start with a recap of the year, just month by month.
I mean,
kind of thing.
Let's start with the year in general because 2022 has been like really fun. I feel like because first year that it was like we had no restrictions at all in terms of COVID and stuff. So it has been really, really fun. We also got to play live.
Yeah,
our
for the
first
first
gigs.
time.
We started playing live in
March.
In March.
Early March, we played our first show, which was for Women's Day, which was very special.
Yeah.
We've been playing, I think, like around twice a month.
Yeah, twice a month since. And to be honest, like the shows we've been doing a lot of shows now, and the shows have been incredible. Like, thank you to everyone that has been coming over. But yeah, it has been so fun. And now in 2023, we're going to improve them. We've already gotten some really, really, really cool offers that we cannot say.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. But some really cool things in the term of like the aspect of live performance are going to be happening in 2023.
We're also planning a new show, just leveling things up a bit. So when we come back to play live, we hope to have, I'll just say like a bigger display and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
A few more things to add to our show.
Which was your favorite show of 2022?
Obviously Sound of Fashion. Sound of Fashion was a music and fashion event that we organized and produced in London in April.
We'll get into that because Sound of Fashion was the biggest project of our year, literally. And that took up 4 months of our year.
Mm-hmm. But I would say playing there was definitely a highlight.
Obviously.
Not only because we played to our biggest audience yet, but also because it was so much preparation and so many moving parts. It was really, really fulfilling to play that show. Yeah. I would also say Lower Third was a really fun show. Yeah,
the Lower Third was a cool one because we spent a lot of time looking at that venue. We heard of it. And people were saying that there was a new venue that was super cool that was coming to London, central London. And then we got an email saying, hey, we want you to be the first band that plays at the Lower Third, like ever. So that was like super cool. And I remember getting into the venue, and they they were still like training all the staff. They didn't have they were putting all the alcohol up in the shelves and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it was like
it was
under
very rushed.
construction.
Yeah, and the smell. It was like of fresh paint.
Yeah,
like
fresh wood, fresh paint.
I've never smelled like, you always had in your head like the smell of a kind of like a fresh, I don't know, a fresh kind of shed, or like a fresh car even.
Yeah.
That kind of smell. Or when you get into a hotel room, it smells like
brand new.
clean
Yeah.
and fresh. But I've never smelled that essence of like a fresh venue, a brand new venue.
Yeah, venues are usually the opposite. They don't really smell that fresh or that new.
Exactly.
So that was a good contrast, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was very fun as well. That night was so fun. So if you get a chance, I would recommend you go check out the Lower Third, to be fair.
We also play in Brighton, The Great Escape. The show wasn't my personal favorite, but
likewise.
But the vibe, the people that we met there, we stayed there for a few nights. We stayed at the worst hotel you can possibly imagine.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that, but the vibes were absolutely amazing. We met so many musicians, so many creative people, so many nice people,
Yeah, I can't wait to go back this next year.
The cool thing about festivals is that it's just like people all over the country that come, and the world sometimes that come to one place, So that was fun, like meeting people not just from London. Obviously in London you find obviously a lot of people from all over the world, but it was really cool to see musicians and to meet musicians that don't live in London necessarily and are doing their own stuff in other places, and they're doing great, So that was fun. We definitely want to go back this year to the Great Escape. Want to go back to play.
Yes, we wanna play more festivals this year. I think that's gonna be one of our goals, I would say.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we've touched on a few things we want to get into in 2023. But I wanted to ask, what has been the biggest lesson of 2022? Because I feel like it has definitely been a year of learning for us, and a year of reflecting on a lot of things, and just learning, how to perfect everything we do, how to perfect our routine, organization, all that kind of stuff. And I think we're carrying that with ourselves into 2023.
Yes. I feel like I've learned a lot of lessons this year, like a lot of lessons. Too many for 1 year, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
But I feel like I've learned that I've always, as a creative, we always struggle with consistency. And I feel like every person that is trying to do their own project, consistency is something that, if you're consistent and you have quality, you
up the chances of doing well, essentially.
But that's a trick, being consistent and having quality product. That's the hard bit,
It's hard to maintain both at the same time.
But this year, I found that if you're gonna achieve that, that balance between consistency and quality product, you need to actually spend even more time planning and organizing and structure that is comfortable for you, that makes you kind of like, so you are able to make that product comfortably. You don't need to be like going crazy to do something, to have it doing consistently as well, And
I feel like it's very important to find that work-life balance. Yeah. Because if you don't have that, I feel like, it's kind of impossible to keep the consistency up because you get demotivated.
Yeah, I feel what I mean, to be honest, is having like a very, very organized and a very controlled foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Having that there, and then and then the rest can be a bit of chaos, but having the base of the whole project and the whole structure, having
the backbone of...
Yeah, exactly. Having a very clear idea what everyone's doing, what you're doing, and... Oh, there it goes. Those are the motorbikes that deliver pizza, and I have a few pizza places down the road.
Yeah,
but
sorry about that.
But yeah, I feel that's been a very important lesson for me, because I've been trying to come up with a system that works for me in that case, because it's not the same for everyone, But yeah,
it's not even the same between both of us in terms of maybe like our day-to-day routine of like waking up and working out and all these kinds of things, which I feel like is something that we've also learned and just like fully realized and try to make work, because at the end of the day, we work together in so many different things, but we're also, we're different people.
Yeah.
In different ways. So, yeah, I would definitely say time management has been a key point of learning this year. But I'm really happy about that because I don't know.
You've been going to the gym a lot this year. You've been on it,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been so on it, and I've still felt like, there's more room for improvement. But I'm very happy with it because, as I said, like I'm carrying that energy into 2023, and I don't know. I feel like this year I have a way clearer idea of where I stand and where I want to be at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And what I need to do to get there. As you said, like planning in advance. So yeah, that's exciting, to be honest. But yeah, what have been your favorite shows that you've been to this year? Because we've been to so many shows.
That's another one because we go to a lot of shows, and we've been to the majority of the shows that we go to are emerging artists and small bands and small artists, and those
it's
are
like local venues.
Those are our favorites because you go there and it's not just a show. Sometimes you see a really good show, sometimes you see a normal show, sometimes you see a very bad show. But luckily, you see more. You see, there's no like a lot of shit artists,
I mean, yeah, it also depends what you like,
and it depends on your taste, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm talking from my experience.
I feel like it took us a while to figure out what kind of shows and what kind of venues and what kind of artists we like the most.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we've been to so many by now that I think we kind of know where we're going a bit more.
But to be honest, the best part of those shows, and I feel like a lot of artists can agree with me, a lot of people that go to those shows can agree with me, is the being there with the people, meeting people from that love that music and or work in certain industries,
in the creative industry, or
I feel like the atmosphere is the best thing of those shows, because when you go to the O2 and you see, when we saw Rosalia,
recently actually.
Rosalia, sorry, I get don't want to be kind of like how do you say, I don't want to be kind of like saying Rosalia. That it sounds weird,
Yeah, obviously it sounds
it's
weird.
It's like if I say Enrique Iglesias.
yeah, it's just wrong in our head, obviously. But at the same time, I feel like I've gotten used to doing that because I learned English and Spanish at the same time growing up. So
yeah,
I just get used to.
Yeah,
I got used to my teachers saying those things.
Exactly, your brain when you're bilingual, it switches to English and you start thinking in English instead of, at the beginning when I went to the UK, I was translating the things that I would think in Spanish into English, but that's the wrong way, because obviously there's even words and expression that don't exist, and idioms and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't say like wrong way. It obviously depends on the level you have, but it is confusing sometimes. And it's less intuitive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we were talking about the shows.
Yes. Favorite shows of the year.
Then when we went to see Rosalia and we went to the O2, it was a nice atmosphere, obviously, because it's a massive place.
Yeah, of course.
But then the show is over and you leave and you don't meet anyone.
Yeah.
You need to go home. It takes ages to get home because it's like 20,000 people in there and 20,000 people that need to get transport back to the place. So it's a bit of a kind of like...
It's a bit of a letdown after the show because you're so excited and just like so hyped.
Yeah, and the show ends in a climax, and there's like, okay, finish and done,
Yeah, time to go home.
I liked when we saw Dua Lipa, that she played this song after, you remember? She played like a really nice song after the show and everyone was dancing.
Oh, I think it was Whitney Houston. They were playing and people were dancing in the O2 right after the show.
That was cool. That was
very fun,
because, so that's what I don't like about those shows. But,
but it's also really fun to go see, big productions. We love shows that involve a lot of things, like a lot of dancing and, set design.
What do you think about
changes.
Future Nostalgia?
I fucking loved it. I knew I was going to love it because I love that album. I love Dua. She's worked so hard on it.
I mean the show, not the album, because the album is from
of course. But I knew I was going to love the show because I love the album so much. And I have been keeping up with, how much she's been working on it and everything like that. We saw the Studio 2054.
Yeah. During lockdown.
Yeah, during lockdown, which was so
sick.
Fun. That was such a good idea, actually. So yeah, I've been keeping up with it and I knew I was probably going to love it and it did not disappoint at all.
Yeah.
If you ever have a chance to see Dua Lipa live, I would recommend you do so. She is so good. Her energy was unmatched, and it sounded so well.
It was
such a fun night.
Really, really fun show. Was that your favorite show of the year?
I think that was one of my favorite shows of the year for sure. I mean, Dua Lipa, Rosalia, and Nati Peluso, which is someone else that we saw this year that I would say is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
I must say, she's a Spanish artist.
Well, she's Argentinian.
Half Argentinian. She spent her childhood, I think in...
Yeah, she grew up in Spain, but she's Argentinian.
But she's one of our favorite artists, and she's my favorite show. That was my favorite show that I've seen this year.
Yeah.
From a kind of like established artist, you know?
Yeah. I would say it was probably one of our favorites because, I don't know, we related to her way of putting on a show and her way of interacting with the crowd and everything like that so much. Like, that's what I aspire to be, you know?
She had the crowd, like, the crowd was... like. She owned the crowd. It was at what was the gig at? Shepherd's Bush theater, kind of. Well, it's kind of like a theater vibe kind of thing, and the crowd was like they went wild. Like everyone was dancing. Like you could feel the vibrations of the floor of the people just jumping up and down. Like it was amazing. I've never seen such an atmosphere. You know.
And we love her music. She's such a dancer, such a great singer.
That was
and just show women, you know.
10 out of 10 show, literally.
Yeah, I would definitely class that like those three because I love all three of them. And all the shows were so great. But yeah, I'd say we related a lot to the way Nati Peluso put on her show because that's the kind of show that we would like to have eventually. But yeah.
What about emerging artists like? Which we've seen so many that I remember, especially I remember friends that have played, you know, and people that we know because those are the ones that we have been to quite a few times, you know.
We've seen Medicine Cabinet, which is friends of ours. They're a really, really, really cool band.
They are always amazing to see live, and they're such a the show is so fresh. Like I don't see many bands like them.
No, I don't hear many bands playing music they do, and I don't see many bands have a live show like theirs, and I feel like we relate to them as well a lot because they're very versatile with their music and
I feel like that's
everything they do. So
I feel like there's a lot of bands now that music is going through a period that's going from a genre-based kind of thing where if you like hip-hop you listen to this artist, and if you like this you listen to that artist, to kind of like being more... It's like versatile.
Genre blending.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. Now you can do whatever, and you
like
know,
genre fluid.
Exactly, and the point is that it sounds good and it's true
to your
for
vision,
the artist. You know, so I love that because we are definitely
we love that works so well for us.
In 2023, I want to say in 2023, we are going to be evolving our sound a lot more. I think like kind of like more electronic based sounds, but mixed with a lot of rock, and we still do rock songs because we love that.
I think we're just gonna explore more. More genres.
Explore a lot more because we listen to a lot of Latin music as well. We've been listening to a lot of Spanish music. There's so much Spanish music out there as well, and we are feeling very, very inspired by that. So there's gonna be a lot more of Spanish speaking in our songs, Spanish lyrics. In our songs,
and just like different sounds essentially because there's so many different things that we listen to. I feel like it wouldn't be fair to limit ourselves and not let all of that inspire the music that we write.
And we get bored as well, you know.
So that's the truth.
We thought even of not translating, but rewriting some of our old songs into Spanish. But we'll see whenever we're gonna try and play in Spain a few shows. And we might...
we might do that. We'll see how we feel. At the end of the day, it's all about what you're feeling at a given moment as well. And just, I don't know, making the most of that energy and that feeling of like, I'm really inspired by X right now. Then just take that motivation and do it. I think that's what we're trying to honor as well. But yeah, there will be a lot of variation in 2023. And just a lot of new things, which is so excited
about. And to be honest, right after this podcast, right after we finish recording this, we need to record vocals for one of our new songs that's coming out in in February, probably.
Probably February, yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna be trying to release one song a month, be consistent. But you know, if you're in the music industry, you're an artist, you'll know that releasing a song a month is really hard.
Yep. Especially if you don't have
money
or a team,
yeah.
because we're literally by ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't have label management or just,
but this year we are. It's what I was saying. One of my biggest lessons for 2022 was being organized, having everything written down, having the timetables for our releases, having the timetable for the year, having kind of like that vision. You know, kind of like be clear about what you're doing.
Clear goals as well. Because if we don't do that, no one's doing it for us. And even if they were, we want to take control of that and just be mindful of what we're doing, what we're working towards, why we're doing it, and also learn through doing it, I think, because, so we're very big on learning. Yeah.
Even though it's very hard to release once a month, I feel like I'm very confident. There's
fireworks.
There's still fireworks. Like, it was 2 days ago. New Year's Eve was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And this was full of people throwing fireworks into the sky. But I feel like people still have a few left, you know?
Yeah, they still have some leftovers. And
so, but I was saying that I feel really confident this year that we are going to manage to release a lot of new music.
Yeah.
And we already have our new song that's coming out in January. Is already gone through distribution already.
So it's official.
Yeah, it's
coming
official.
Out.
It's coming out. I'm not going to say the date yet because I don't know when we're going to announce it. Probably in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, but it's coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yes.
Okay, so I think it's worth to just touch on a few other highlights of the past year that we haven't mentioned or just like haven't gone into detail. But yeah, what would you say have been other highlights of the year or like special moments?
Well, highlights. The other day, my dad was saying, to be nice, the fact that, whenever we are in a family reunion, my dad comes up with the topic of like Simon Le Bon interviewing us and liking our music. That was a big highlight because I feel like that happened in March, I believe, on February.
I think so. Yeah.
This year, last year, and that was sick, you know, because
obviously we admire him a lot.
Yeah.
So do our families.
If you don't know Simon Le Bon, he's Duran Duran's lead singer, and Duran Duran is one of the most iconic bands
from the 80s. And
not from the 80s. One of the most iconic bands of the whole history of popular music. You know?
Obviously, they just got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. Well, this past year. Oh God.
But obviously that was amazing. Like having an interview with him, and the things that he said to us. It's absolutely amazing. I remember he said to us to stay very true to ourselves, and he really liked our songwriting, and he told us to keep going as we were doing, you know, and that was motivation because sometimes when you're not getting numbers, especially at the beginnings and stuff, when you're figuring things out and you're just messing up all the time because it's just how it is. Yeah, and to be honest, we don't care. We really don't care about numbers or anything like that. We don't do it because of that. But sometimes you have bad days and they don't help. Those numbers don't help. And
also, I think, you know, as you say, we don't do it because of the numbers, but obviously when you're working hard and you keep not seeing any positive results, it doesn't have to be like a lot of numbers, but you don't see any change, essentially. Yeah. It's just a bit frustrating sometimes.
But I do feel that at the beginning of last year, we weren't seeing many changes, especially in our music. We were seeing many changes in our lives with other projects, such as Sound of Fashion.
Many personal changes as well. Yeah,
but I feel like from summer till now, we've been seeing like a lot of changes, a lot of progress in our music, which has been nice. It's always nice to have your calendar busy with stuff to do.
Yeah,
you know?
Always filled with new stuff and new opportunities. That's all we want, really, to keep growing and keep learning and doing what we do at a bigger and bigger scale.
And I feel like now it's right now the beginning of January, beginning of 2023, and our calendar is pretty full for the first couple months at least. And I know that it's gonna be crazy for the other months, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna get fuller. That's what we're hoping.
I'm proud of that, you know, and I'm really happy about that.
That is an accomplishment in itself, I think.
Yeah,
but you don't often I don't know. I feel like you don't often sit down and just acknowledge that in itself is an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is. It is because That's what we want to do. And the more stuff you do, the better it is for our mental health, because the better we're gonna feel, doing the stuff, because it's the stuff that we love. It's not that we're working on somewhere, we're doing something random, working at a job just to earn money. We're doing our own thing, and we're earning money from our...
It's just also ratifying the fact that you're doing what you love and you're making it work, and you see the prospect of it becoming a lifelong thing, a lifelong career more clearly, which is, for us, it's all we want, really.
Yeah, exactly.
We just want to be able to do this for the rest of time and keep living,
Yeah, keep living from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the first 4 months from 2022 were focused on the sound of fashion, and we put our music a bit aside because it was such a crazy project. It was such an ambitious project.
It was something we'd never done before.
Something we've never done before, and such a big team as well. Such a big responsibility that that's the most intense. In terms of work, that was the most intense kind of like months that I had in my life. Literally.
It was the most intense day of my life as well. But also, I would gladly say it was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah. Best day of the year?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah.
I sprained my ankle that day.
Oh my God.
It was really painful, but still, it was the best day of my day, of my year.
Just picture this. We got to the venue at 10 a.m. and I think it was at 10:30 that Fran sprained his ankle.
Yeah, and really badly.
And we had, a 12-hour day ahead of us. We were playing.
And we were performing.
At the end of the night.
At the end of those... after, imagine, like, you sprain your ankle, you spend 10 hours running around.
Yeah, on your feet.
And in such a...
Excruciating pain, yeah.
Exactly. And then at the end of those 10 hours, you need to go on stage and you need to jump and pop out the crowd and sing and dance and all that kind of stuff and play instruments. But still, it was the best day of my life.
We had so much adrenaline in our system.
I couldn't feel a thing. I couldn't feel a thing on the stage.
Yeah, everything was just irrelevant at that point. And I remember all I wanted was to get to the point of playing live, because I knew that was when I was actually fully gonna relax and just be the most present I would be able to be in that day. Because that's one thing about playing live. It forces you to be so present.
So present. That's a good thing. That's like such a good thing that I've realized this year as well. Playing live is what you're saying. Like, playing live, it allows you to be present on that moment and that stage. And you are present not just about where you are with the people that you are. It to me, it kind of like it allows me to see at what stage in my life I am. Because I remember when I was like 15 years old, not that long ago, like even like when I was 17, 5 years ago, I would be dreaming about singing my songs live, And when I see myself playing live in London, I'm singing or I'm dancing, I'm playing an instrument or something like that, and I start to remember that kid, dreaming about that. So it's the only moment that that kind of like thought comes to mind, like automatically.
That you also really stop to think and appreciate the journey and stuff, because same. I've been dreaming about playing my songs, playing live in general all my life, but again, but playing my songs live is just a whole nother level of just self accomplishment and just feeling really happy with myself and really proud of the journey that brought me here. Yeah. And it is true that I think the moments during the show and after the show, you just feel such a rush of excitement and gratitude for everything that's led to that moment. And when you're just, on a day-to-day, when you're just working and distracting yourself with different things and, more mundane things, it's very difficult sometimes to stop and think about the journey and realize that you're actually doing really well. Yeah, exactly. And that you could be doing so much worse, and that at one point things didn't look so bright, and a lot has changed since then. So now you know what we think about on stage. Yeah. If you see us on stage playing live, you can tell that we are thinking about our past. Just dwelling about our childhood
thinking about
no,
that
it's
kid.
not dwelling. It's
No.
honestly the
No,
total opposite.
to be honest,
the opposite,
I just get that thought like maybe for 5 seconds during the show, but that stays with me for the whole night. You know, it's just that gratitude that you have, that moment of gratitude.
And I think one of my favorite things about this year has been the moments after playing a show, because the energy. I mean, you have so much adrenaline because you've just played a show, and it's such an unnatural thing, but it comes so naturally to us, and it's so intuitive, and just it feels so right.
Yeah.
But it is a crazy thing to do. So the energy that you feel afterwards and the adrenaline is just unmatched.
Yeah.
And then you get to talk to the people that have come to see the show, and it's just the best vibe ever. And
it is the best vibe.
I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite things ever, and it's been another highlight of this year, I think.
One thing that I've discovered about myself this year through live shows is that, when I go out, I'm not shy, I would say, but I'm not the most social person. Sometimes I can be very shy in social aspects, I feel like. And when I go out, it really depends on the day. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Sometimes I'm just in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head, and if you speak to me, I don't know how I'm going to be, how I'm going to react. But when I play a show, after we play the show basically and we start chatting to people, that's my most sociable moment. Like the moment that I'm the most kind of like, how do you say it?
Just open to interact with people.
Yeah, open, and obviously I'm very grateful at that moment. And people don't come up to you and say, "Yo, that show is shit." They come up to you,
the opposite.
Yeah, with a lot of love. So I feel very loved, and I feel very open and very
comfortable.
Comfortable. Yeah. So that's something that I've learned. That's my most comfortable environment.
I would relate to that. I mean, I'm definitely not shy.
Yeah, no.
I'm quite outgoing.
Yeah.
But I do have days where I just cannot bring myself to be comfortable. I can speak to people and I can just have a conversation and be nice and stuff, but I just cannot feel comfortable doing it or fully mindful and present. But after playing a show, it's just, no matter how I'm feeling or how the show went, the mood is just so great.
Well, to be honest, we haven't had a bad show this year.
No.
We've never had, because I feel that we the thing that allows us to not have many horrendous shows is the fact that whenever we get on stage, we forget about anything, and we say it to each other, forget about all the problems, and we just say, okay, now it's just a moment to enjoy the show. Doesn't matter if we have technical problems, doesn't matter if we are not wearing the outfit that we thought we were going to wear because there's been a problem, or there's no enough people in the crowd, or there's too much people, or whatever. Doesn't matter. We're just going to have a fucking good time with each other, because we know that I know that for a fact that you're going to be on that stage, and you know that I'm going to be on that stage.
Yeah, and we have our support.
And we can have a fucking good time just by ourselves playing that show. And with there's people watching, that is just incredible, So I feel like that allows us to not have many bad shows and not be in a bad mood when we play, and
just detach ourselves from, as you said, how many people come to see us and all these other factors that we cannot really control. At the end of the day, we can't control if there's going to be a technical difficulty. We can't control if people suddenly don't show up, or maybe there's things that happen, like there's transport strikes and things like that, and all of that is just so out of your control.
My God, there's a massive truck right there. Sorry for the noise. There's a massive truck
beeping sound.
But continue. So
you cannot control any of those things, and as soon as you allow yourself to detach your thoughts, at least when you're on stage, of those things, you just enjoy it so much more. And as you say, I don't think we've ever played a show and been really sad afterwards or really annoyed afterwards. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we always have fun.
Sometimes before the show, we've been sad, we've been crying, we've been a bit
stressed, whatever it is.
We've been angry, we've been whatever. But then after the show, everything's fine, everything's good.
And the show is a great way to just flip your mentality, because you know that you have to have the energy when you're playing live, and you have to drive the crowd and pump people up and allow them to have a good time. And again, you have to do it for yourself, because if not, you're just gonna have a shit time.
Exactly.
And that's not worth it.
And if you're playing live and you have a shit time, the crowd is gonna have a shit time with you as well. Same thing. Whenever we get off stage, everyone is the one of the most common compliments that we get is the energy that we have, and the entertaining that is watching us on stage. And it's just that. It's just because we just want to give off the energy that we want to receive back.
Yeah, literally. I think I think it was a podcast that I listened to with Debbie Harry.
Yeah.
And she was saying that you have to command the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so true. You have to take control and take ownership of that moment. And I mean, people are there to see you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they come in with not that many expectations, especially if you're an emerging artist. People will come in with not many expectations because they've probably never seen you play before, and it's up to you, the impression you leave on them.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me, and I've been trying to just bear that in mind every time I play live.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really, really good thing that we've learned this year.
Yeah, I can relate a lot with that. I feel like we should be wrapping up now because I think we're getting closer to rush hour.
Yes.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
The sun is setting as well.
The sun is setting, and there's a lot of noise right now. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry if you're listening to this on Spotify. If you're watching the video, obviously you can see that we are outdoors.
You can put it into context a bit more.
But if you're listening on Spotify, you're gonna be like, "What?
What is going on?" But I think we've said it enough times. So.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, can you describe this year in 3 words?
Ooh.
I know it's tough, but
I can.
Because I cannot, but I know you're good with words.
No, I did have a think about this.
Yeah.
I would definitely say it's been a very eye-opening year. Yeah. Because definitely. As we said, we've learned so many things.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also been a very experimental year because for the first time we've properly allowed ourselves to try out many different things to just make the most of that intuitive hunch for, be it the sound of fashion, you know, different projects that are not necessarily music, or for writing different types of songs and experimenting with different sounds,
different languages
with fashion as well. Just a lot of different aspects of our life. Yeah, I think we've allowed ourselves to experiment, and that's been really, really great. And oh god, what's the third word? I don't know. Do you have any words?
I don't, but I really identify with what you just said, to be honest. But I don't know, I'm just grateful for this year, and I'm excited for next year, for this year now, 2023, and I hope you're excited as well, because you can make of it whatever you want, you know? It's in your hand. But yeah, should we wrap it up there? Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
And let us know what you're excited about for 2023.
Oh, we haven't talked about the podcast. That was something super exciting.
Wait. Before we wrap up, obviously that's been a highlight of this year.
We wanted to do
stupid of us.
Yeah, we wanted to do a podcast because we'll be meeting a lot of cool people in London. Not just cool people, but people that inspire us, and not just artists. Like people from different industries and different walks of life, you know.
Yeah, different environments, everything.
And there's a lot of people that inspire us that we want to interview, and we want to learn from them, and we want you to know about them.
And we just want to sit down and have a cool conversation with them, because if you know, or if you live in a big city, or if you've lived in a big city like London, everything is so fast and so volatile. I feel like socializing and your relationships with people are so volatile and just so rushed, and you never really have the time to sit down and actually talk to people and get to know them. So we thought it'd be really fun to do that, and also share different people's experiences and thoughts on different topics, because they inspire us and they might inspire someone else. So
exactly. So next year, well, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be interviewing. We're going to continue with the interviews, you know. This has been a very special episode because obviously it's the 2nd of January, and this episode is going live in an hour. Yeah. So we have
a lot of work to do.
We have a lot of work to do today, and I'm getting a plane. I'm going abroad. I'm going away tomorrow. I don't want to say where, but I'm going away. Well, I'm going to Miami. I'm gonna say
Miami,
where.
baby.
Yeah, I'm going to Miami to visit not family but family friends. I'm staying there.
I'm quite jealous.
Yeah, I'm
I'd love
staying
to go.
there for 4 days literally. So it's gonna be really, really intense. I'm going there, then coming back to Madrid. Gonna be a few days in Madrid,
Yeah.
and then going back to London. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, we're gonna have such cool people on the podcast.
Such a wide range of different guests as well. So we hope you're excited for that.
Yes.
And we'll catch you when we're back in London.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening as always. And yeah, we hope you've had a great year. And we hope your 2023 is even better because that's what we're hoping for ourselves. So
yes, of course. So we catch you on the next episode of I Can See in the Making with, I don't know who's going to be the next guest.
Well, we won't say yet, but...
We won't say yet, but it's going to be such an icon, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Well, we catch you later. See you.
Thank you.